What's up everyone, Darcblade here bringing you a beginner's guide to the multiplayer in The Last of Us. This is going to be a first in a series of videos following The Last of Us's multiplayer, where I talk about the mechanics, the weapons, the maps, so on and so forth. Anyway, in this video I'm going to cover the basics as it is a beginner's guide video. I'm going to talk about how the multiplayer works and hopefully give you some beginner's tips. Now those of you who have played the Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 2's multiplayer will find similarities in The Last of Us's multiplayer, but it's a lot slower paced. And whereas Uncharted's multiplayer is very loud, extravagant and fast paced, The Last of Us is a lot slower and a lot stealthier. Anyway, as you go into the multiplayer, you'll be given the choice of choosing two factions, the Hunters or the Fireflies. Both these factions come up in the single player, so I won't really spill the storylines behind them. Anyway, once you've chosen your faction, the multiplayer will begin. Basically, you'll be given 12 weeks to survive. This is sort of like your timeline. During these 12 weeks, each match that you play will count as one day. During this time, if you survive the actual 12 weeks, you'll unlock various items for your characters. As with all Naughty Dog games, you get to customize your character with hats, masks, so on and so forth. You get to give your characters new gestures, which are like taunts from Uncharted. You also get to create an emblem for yourself, which has a lot of the Uncharted 3 emblem layers in. So you can potentially create your Uncharted emblem in The Last of Us. When you reach the end of the 12 weeks, don't worry, because although it resets, you don't actually reset any of the skills, weapons, customizations that you've unlocked. All of these will remain unlocked as you go into the new game. You can also create custom loadouts or picked pre-made ones. This is similar to how the Uncharted multiplayer worked. However, when creating custom loadouts, you have a set number of points to spend on your loadout. So you could have 4 perks and 1 gun, or you could have 2 guns and just 1 perk. It's basically how you spend the points to create the best loadout for you. Now the main goal of the multiplayer is to get the supplies needed to keep your clan alive and healthy, because your clan is like a NPC hub where you keep people alive in. As your clan grows, you'll have more mouths to feed, you'll have the chance of people getting sick, in which case you need to get medicine, so on and so forth. Anyway, supplies are gained when you play multiplayer matches, either from looting or from killing opponents. As your clan grows in size, they obviously need more supplies, so the main focus of each multiplayer match is to at least get the minimum amount of supplies in order to keep your clan alive and healthy. One cool thing about populating your clan is that you can actually populate it with your Facebook friends if you connect to your Facebook account. This gives the whole clan thing and the NPCs in the clan a little bit more of a personal touch, which I think is great. There are 2 types of currency as well. You have parts and then you have supplies. And parts are a currency that could be spent mid-match. Examples of what you can spend your parts on are armor for your character so you can take more damage, more ammunition, so on and so forth. At the moment there are 2 game modes you play. Supply Run or Survivors. Supply Run is a bit like a team deathmatch, with each team having 20 reinforcements before going into a sudden death situation. Survivors is a little bit different. It's a best of 7 rounds, 1 life each game mode. So once you're ready, you jump into a game with either friends or random pug players and begin the match and start scavenging for supplies for your clan. Now each game is 4-a-side, it's not huge teams, and as a result it's better to stick together rather than spread out too much, because if you do go down, you can have teammates revive you. Scattered around all the maps are supply points. These can be opened to gain supplies, like you're able to craft new items for the match. For example, you're able to craft medikits for yourself so you can heal yourself, or bombs, which are pretty much grenades. There's also a small chance that they might drop extra supplies or ammunition. Now, like I said at the start of the video, The Last of Us's multiplayer is very more slow-paced and stealth-orientated. There is a radar which allows you to see players who are being too loud or too obnoxious, shall we say, you know, firing their guns off wildly, sprinting, so on and so forth. This really does help when trying to track players down. The radar is really something you've got to be aware of and keep your eye on. During the multiplayer you'll have random events happen, normally at the end of each week. These can be quite dramatic and they either increase your clan size quite substantially or reduce it by quite a bit. These missions can be things like getting a certain number of executions or downing a certain number of enemy players. A good feature to help your team as well is that you can mark enemy players. This is similar to how you mark players in Battlefield 3, for example. When you aim at an enemy player, press R3 to mark them so your team can see them. Anyway, that's about it for the basics of the multiplayer in The Last of Us. Hope you enjoyed the little video, and I hope this explained a few things to those of you out there who don't know what's going on in the multiplayer. Anyway, I've been Darcblade, hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.